Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Roboto, back again with another quick trading video. So today's topic, I'm going to be talking about trading breakouts on trend days. The trade that we're going to be going over is a QQQ calls trade. I ended up taking today, Monday, October 25th, for a pretty nice win. All right, so let's dive right in. Okay, so this is QQQ. This is the price action that we ended up putting in today on Monday. And this is the context of QQQ going into today. As you can see, early last week we broke out and then we started just trading up and down on this range all of last week. We did break out of this range a little bit on Thursday, but you can see it got stuffed right back down. And then on Friday we went down lower to test the bottom of the range. Okay, but as you can see today in pre-market, and in after hours, we brought the price all the way back up, right? We tested the lows again in the morning at open, but again, the bulls came back in, they defended these lows and they brought it right back up, making a higher low. So that was the context going into, right after market open, all right? And then right around 11 and noon, you can see that, we broke out of this pennant, okay? And we were now starting to base above last week's high. Okay, so that's a very bullish sign to me. We're making new demand zones above last week's high. That tells me that the bulls are active. They're ready to play. They're ready to be in this market. And the sellers, they're lagging behind right now in this tug and pull. Okay, so before I zoom in, so there's a 1 hour supply here, right? I got this. If I go all the way back left, you can see there was a green basing candle from a couple weeks back. And then from here, you can see that the price sold down. So this formulated my 1 hour supply zone, okay? And then something else that's very telling here is you can see that the 1 hour breakout level, we actually exceeded that today, this morning after open. Okay, so look at this day, right? We broke out this day. All right, this is from 8 o'clock, and then we ended up breaking out. It wasn't until the end of the day that we sold off, but look at the 1 hour volume here. We're already above this. Okay, here's another day where we ended up breaking out. This day was, all straight to the upside this entire day, and this was the volume that was necessary for this upside breakout day. Okay, so these are just, these are context clues. Here's another day. Okay, if we go even further back, look at this day. The 1 hour breakout level, again, we were right at it for this day, and this day ended up going nothing but upside the entire day. Okay, so when I see stuff like that and then I see this, we're already exceeding the 1 hour breakout level for today. This sets a really good tone in my mind for, a continued move to the upside for the rest of this day, right? At this point, the thought of playing puts when I see something like this is just, it's just out of my mind. That's no longer on the today's menu for something that I would be considered playing when I see volume like this on the indices. Okay, all right. Well, let's go ahead and dig down deeper. This is what I ended up seeing on QQQ. Again, as you can see, we had this this dip in the morning, but the bulls came in and they bought this all the way back up. I missed out on this dip, right? And here I was actually thinking that there was a good potential that we're going to make a lower high, right? And then potentially sell back off. But that wasn't a high probability trade for me either, right? So I just sat and I waited and, waited for the market to tell me what it was going to do, okay? And then at this point, once we broke above these highs and we broke out of this weekly range from last week, at this point, I'm looking for a potential dip on NQ or the Qs, right? This wasn't a good enough dip for me. And then when I saw this consolidation, right, and then there was this trend line that was forming. This is potentially a pennant, right? When I saw this, I started accumulating some shares right around here, some contracts right around here. I played the I believe it was the 378 on the Qs. 0 DTEs, right? And then on this break, my target was this 1 hour supply. And I can actually show you why this ended up being such a good target. Because if you zoom out, okay, there was confluence here. This 1 hour supply had very strong confluence with this upper trend line. Look at this, okay? Look at this. So this upper trend line, you got one touch here, another touch here, another touch here, and then today's touch, okay? Perfect confluence with this upper trend line and perfect confluence with this 1 hour supply that I had already identified earlier into the day, right? So those factors are the reason why I felt very comfortable entering calls here, right? So this wasn't a good enough dip, but this to me was a good enough dip. And another reason why was because we were holding, right? So if I zoom out, let's go ahead and zoom out to here. You can see we were holding above this level, right? So this is the, last week's high, and the fact that we were holding above it, right, and forming a new demand zone gave me a lot of confidence to go ahead and enter calls there. And then, here's just another point of confluence. If you look at the 30-minute, volume on this pullback right here, very low volume, right, compared to the green candles that came before it, right? So look at this day, okay? So this is all about just comparing volumes and comparing the different scenarios, right? So look at this day right here. Look at how much volume we had here, and you can notice we continued to the upside on this day. Well, look at here. It's the same exact scenario. Again, very small volume, selling volume on this 30-minute candle. So there's a good chance that we're going to continue to the upside for today, right? So what factors do we have in play here, right? So we have a nice pennant forming. We have low volume on this 30-minute selling candle, right? We're holding the highs, last week's highs, we're holding above it. We have a clear target above that we can scale out at, okay? Plus, I've already mentioned the bullishness from this morning, right? And the fact that the bulls broke above this pennant and they put in this nice 1 hour breakout candle. You put all those factors in together, and this makes a very high probability trade, and a trade that I'll gladly take, any day of the week, especially when you have all those factors in confluence together. So yeah, ended up accumulating shares here, and I scaled out. This was about 40% right at the once we broke high of day, scaled out about 40% there. I got some 70% scales here. I got 100% scales here. And at the very top, at the top of this upper trend line touch and in my supply zone, I got my best scales were for about 113%. Yeah, great trade. So I hope the analysis on this trade helps some of you guys out. You start putting all these factors together and you're going to realize that these are really good trades to take, right? Okay, that's it for me. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, please like, subscribe, please comment. That's going to really help me out, help the YouTube page out. And last thing I want to mention was I walked through this trade on my private Discord. If that's something that you're interested in, there's going to be a link in the description, and you feel free to DM me at Mr. Roboto Trades if you have any questions. All right, well, I'll talk to you later, and I hope you learned something, and I'll talk to you guys next time.